Good evening and welcome to NEWSBREAK Live. I'm Hiba Sama. Thanks for joining us. A somber week for many across the country as 5 fallen officers from the Dallas Police Department are laid to rest. Torrance Police Department Chief Mark Matsuda traveled with 6 officers to attend all 5 funerals.
It's very important for us to pay respects to the fallen officers. It lets our officers know that there's somebody and people are out there supporting what they do. And it's also important for their families to see that level of support. We do that each year with our police officer memorial, and I think tributes like you'll see in the upcoming week at the funeral services for the fallen Dallas officers will go a long way towards healing. It's not going to fix things, but it's going to go a long way towards healing, not only the families but also the law enforcement community.
And in the last week, the Torrance community has shown an outpour of support for the local police department. Chief Matsuda says notes of encouragement and kindness have been left on officers' cars. Flowers and goods have also been dropped off at the police station.
Those things go a long way. It means a lot for our folks to know that it's not like they're seeing on the media, perhaps, that there are a lot of other stories that are being told, maybe not being heard by enough folks, but there are a lot of stories being told by people about how much they appreciate the work that's being done. It's kind of created a new reality in some regards and what can happen to police officers who are out there just doing their jobs. Even though it was always a job that potentially could be dangerous on a regular basis, this presented a new challenge for us as we go out there in our communities and really helping people, even when they're protesting in a peaceful fashion, how things can go awry.
President Obama also arrived in Dallas today to speak at the slain officers' memorial. And in honor of the Dallas victims, President Obama has ordered the United States flags to be flown at half-staff. As a mark of respect for the fallen officers, United States flags at the White House and all public buildings and grounds are set to be flown at half-staff until sunset tonight. If you noticed flaring at the Torrance refining company, authorities say not to be alarmed. What's being called a flaring event happened around 1 p.m. yesterday, which prompted notification to the South Coast Air Quality Management District shortly after. Officials also reported the incident to the California Office of Emergency Services and said they believe the refinery may have exceeded the reportable quantity of 500 pounds of sulfur dioxide. Torrance Refining Company officials say the unplanned flaring was an environmentally approved measure to safely and effectively destroy virtually all the hydrocarbons the refinery is unable to process, which is necessary in order to make the equipment safe for personnel. 5 firefighters reported to the scene. The city also issued a Torrance alerts to inform the community. To sign up for notifications, go to torranceca.gov/Torrance alerts. Over at City Hall, today marks a big day as the city officially welcomes a new face on the dais. At tonight's meeting, which starts at 7 p.m. and can be seen live right here on Torrance CitiCABLE, newly elected council members Milton Herring and Mike Griffiths, along with re-elected council member Jeff Rizzo, will officially be sworn into office. During the June elections, 6 candidates vied for 3 open seats on the city council. All 3 sworn-in council members will serve a 4-year term. In honor of Councilman Gene Barnett, the city will host a special ceremony to acknowledge his service to the Torrance community. The City Council meeting can be seen live tonight at 7 p.m. on Time Warner Channel 3, Frontier FiOS Channel 31, or KNET 25.2. A research company is giving the city of Torrance 2 thumbs up, making it one of the most desirable cities to enjoy the outdoors in. The city of Torrance was ranked number 11 out of 25 cities that were named most beautiful for outdoor activities. Niche compiled information on various cities showing that city life and being outdoors are not always the same. 227 U.S. cities were considered based on local weather, air quality, and access to natural amenities. Torrance is centrally located near 10 state parks, 53 beaches, and the weather was given an A+. A church on Torrance Boulevard is getting more beautiful by the day. St. Mercurius and St. Abram Coptic Orthodox Church is expanding and adding a second location on Torrance Boulevard. The framing is already up and has a unique and eclectic structure catching quite the attention. Currently, the church is located on 3645 Torrance Boulevard. Church officials say the new church addition is set to serve more members. The Orthodox Church was first established in 1989 to serve the southwestern part of LA County. The city has a new tenant set to move into what used to be the Buffalo Fire Department restaurant. Cafe Roma will be opening at 1261 Cabrillo Avenue this fall. Recently, Chef Michael Schaefer made the announcement that he shut down the Buffalo Fire Department and would be focusing his time at the depot. Cafe Roma will bring the Mediterranean flavor to downtown Torrance. Also in downtown Torrance, the long-awaited Restoration and Kitchen and Wine, which used to be Luigi's Pizza, hosted a soft opening with just family and friends yesterday. While they're still finalizing the wine list and menu, you can stop in for dinner from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Restaurant owners hope to officially host a ribbon-cutting ceremony and grand opening in mid-August. And Torrance residents are catching on to a national craze. Pokemon Go, a free smartphone game, was released earlier this month and uses your phone's GPS to take you on a Pokemon hunt by detecting where you are and making Pokemon characters appear nearby so you can catch them right on your phone. Here in Torrance, players have been tweeting about the different locations where they were hunting for Pokemon, from downtown Torrance to Wilson Park.
I like how it really gets people to go out, and it seems like people are like antisocial because they're on their phone, but you actually meet other people by playing it, and I really like that about it.
It actually gives you the real feel of being a Pokemon trainer.
You're getting out, walking a lot, and being out in parks rather than staying at home playing video games. It's nice to be out and walking and talking and seeing other people and a little more social.
I like it because it's able to get my kids out, and they've learned more about the city, it seems like, that we've lived in forever since they've been, hunting Pokemon.
Meanwhile, local law enforcement officials are reporting concerns about how distracting the game has become. Agencies around the U.S. have issued a number of warnings about people going into closed buildings looking for Pokemon characters and people driving while playing or walking into traffic. Torrance police says they haven't faced any problems with the new game just yet. Torrance police are still looking for suspects that vandalized a local park activity. These were posted across social media and show surveillance photos of possible vandal suspects that vandalized the Southern California Live Steamers facility at Wilson Park. According to police, there are 4 suspects. The police report said the lock to a container was broken into and was sprayed with graffiti along with an outside tunnel. The organization is funded by donations and for the past 75 years has been offering free rides to the community. Most recently, they hosted a fundraiser to raise much-needed money to make the repairs. Torrance CitiCABLE attended the event and will bring you full coverage on This Week in Torrance. And the sun keeps shining in Torrance. Today there was a high of 74 degrees with a low of 65. Tomorrow will warm up quite a bit, nearing 80 degrees with a low of 64. Thursday temperatures will stay warm at 77 with a low of 64. For the first time, one Torrance library is hosting a program to make sure students in need don't go hungry during the summer months. Reporter Tao Ta has the story.
North Torrance High School staff spent the morning prepping these meals for Torrance's Lunch at the Library program, ensuring children who qualify for reduced lunches during the school year will have their stomachs full even when school is out.
These lunches actually meet the same guidelines that school lunches meet during the school year. Everything must be whole grain. We offer fresh fruits and vegetables with every meal. It's portion controlled so that we're meeting the nutrition needs.
Once the delivery was made to the North Torrance Library, volunteers then distributed the meals. Just today, 50 meals were prepped and given away to provide children a healthy and nutritious meal during the summer. Johanna Garcia, a Carson resident, says this program has been a big help for her 3-year-old daughter who is in preschool.
It may help us to get out of the house, for her to meet new friends and have a healthy snack. She really likes it. I like it.
50% of children that live around the North Torrance Library qualify for the free or reduced lunches, which is the main criteria, allowing the lunch at the library program to flourish, but it also serves students around Torrance.
Oftentimes, children who receive free or reduced lunches during the school year don't have access to those healthy meals during the summer because libraries have a special relationship with the parents and the children, and we have a summer reading program to emphasize reading during the times that children are out of school. Providing lunches through the library is like a great fit.
Our children love to read, and they love the library, and this is an added incentive for them to come to the library, when normally, during their summer vacation, they like to maybe stay at home.
But it took a year to make the initiative a reality.
If they're missing a meal, they can't read as well, they can't participate, they can't play, they can't be healthy. And that's why it's important, because we want all of the children in Torrance to be healthy and productive members of our community.
As for Garcia, her children can now eat healthier during the summer.
It means that they care. They're trying to get a better, healthy life for them instead of always eating, fast food, greasy. So it's good.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Tao Tao.
Thanks, Tao. It takes place Monday through Thursday, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 in the afternoon. You don't have to be a Torrance resident to sign up. The program ends August 11th. Today was a move-fastic time for some Chick-fil-A lovers in Torrance. There were lines out the door at Chick-fil-A on Hawthorne Boulevard near Sepulveda Boulevard as people dressed up as cows to get some free chicken sandwiches. It was all for Cow Appreciation Day, and to honor the animal, the food chain gave out a free entree to any customer partially dressed in cow attire or even more, donning some parts of a cow. Children can receive a full kids meal for dressing up. Chick-fil-A's 12th annual Cow Appreciation Day. The free food will be offered until 7 p.m. tonight. And speaking of free food, 7-Eleven is giving a lot of perks to celebrate its famed Slurpee drink. July 11th marked Slurpee Day, and 7-Elevens across the country gave out free small Slurpees from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. And to celebrate its 50th anniversary, the convenience store chain is offering buyers the chance to get 11 Slurpees for free when they buy 7 during Slurpee Week. Customers can also pick up delicious deals by tasting a birthday cake flavored Slurpee, Slurpee donut, and pineapple mango. You can head to 7-Eleven's website for deals, and be sure to download their free app for more daily offers. IHOP was also offering some deals for its 58th anniversary, serving up 58-cent short stacks of pancakes. There is one location at the Torrance Crossroads on Crenshaw Boulevard near Lomita Boulevard. And here are some upcoming events this week. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. you can meet authors Rachel Searles and Judith Gerber as they discuss their new book called From Cows to Concrete: The Rise and Fall of Farming in Los Angeles. It will be hosted by the Torrance Historical Society at the Katie Geisert Civic Center Library. And the Madrona Marsh Preserve is having their Junior Naturalist program that kicked off today. It will continue until this Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Students between 8 and 13 years old will take a series of classes. And coming up in just 2 minutes, this week's Hot Topic invites Torrance Police Captain Martin Vukotic to discuss how the city is making strides in curbing the coyote population. We've got that live interview when we come back.
My name is Carly, I'm 15 years old and I am a heart recipient. I got my first heart transplant when I was 1.5 years old. I got my second heart when I was 13. When I step out on stage, I think I'm communicating with people. I would like to tell them that I want to make a change in life. Like, yeah, you can have 2 heart transplants, but that doesn't stop you from doing the things that you love. When I get my driver's license, of course I'm going to say yes to be an organ donor because I've been saved twice. So who says I can't save somebody else? It's just the beginning of a new story.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
You're going to need me. You're going to need us. All of us. You're going to need our technical skills, our math, our engineering skills. You're going to need our help with your water, your air, your food. You're going to need our organizational skills, our problem-solving skills. You're going to need our determination, our honesty, our compassion. You're going to need the next generation of leaders to face the challenges the future will bring. And we promise we'll be there when you need us.
Welcome back to NewsBreak Live. Thanks for joining us. Tonight we welcome Police Captain Martin Vukotic live in Torrance. How are you doing this evening?
Very well, thank you, Hiba. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us. And you know, this is a hot topic. The growing population of coyotes has been a big topic of discussion in the community. And most recently, the city of Torrance created a coyote management approach, which your department has played a huge role in. When did your department start seeing an increase in the coyote population?
Well, we started seeing some sightings in the latter part of 2015 and then a sudden spike in 2016. And it's been pretty consistent for the entire year.
And now to combat this growing problem of coyotes, the city and the police department have teamed up, and I know it's taken a while. Tell us about the urban coyote management approach.
Well, like with any problem that the city has experienced, we reached out to industry experts and other jurisdictions that were experiencing similar problems. So we reached out to our local, state, and regional partners and finding out what approaches worked best and how this problem was evolving. So with that, we really focused on gathering the intelligence, coming up with a decent, balanced approach, prioritizing public safety at the same time. Mm-hmm. And what took place is a 13-step program that we've implemented, really utilizing all of the resources that the city has and partnership with our local, state, and regional partners.
Now, I've read this is a problem across LA County, and Torrance isn't alone. Was there some kind of consultation with other cities to see how they're combating this problem? Did you base it on other cities' successful use of this plan?
Yes, we reached out to agencies like Culver City, Long Beach, the city of Calabasas, Newport Beach, Irvine, Huntington Beach, and Seal Beach, and looked at what type of spikes they had and what type of locale that they actually had where habituated coyotes were causing an impact to the city's quality of life. And we came up with a problem or a plan that was best suited for our city, our quality of life, and our unique jurisdiction.
As a police captain, safety is #1 priority for the community. So your perspective may be very different from the community who may not see your standpoint. Can you tell us a little bit about that and the research that really went into making this approach come to life?
Yes, well, in looking at the problem and identifying why coyotes were coming into neighborhoods, is they're struggling for food sources. So they're going and venturing out into urban environments like Torrance and the cities that I mentioned, and they were looking at those food sources. So we identified the root cause of some of these problems, and it was attractants. So they were looking for food sources. So coyotes have a diet that consists of rodents, raccoon, cats, rabbit, fruit, vegetation, and we started identifying that some of our neighborhoods were the root causes for these coyotes venturing into these neighborhoods and causing the issue. So in identifying that, we really needed to come across a footprint that was going to address public safety, because that's our main priority, but really focusing on balance. As you've heard me mention and other experts mention in the field, is you can't eradicate coyotes. It's It's been tried, it's a failed practice, and what we're really looking at is we got caught behind the curve on this, like many jurisdictions throughout Southern California, and we're trying to catch a breath here. So really what our focus is education, really making our community aware of the issue and how to harden their neighborhoods. We have had some similar issues, though different, is when we had spikes in residential burglaries and thefts from unlocked vehicles. Really, it took our community and really hardening their targets in crime prevention to actually catch a breath and reduce the crime rate. Same issue here. We're taking the same approach, is collaboration with our community, looking at best practice approaches and really landing in a sweet spot, as per se, with a real focus on public safety.
And I know you mentioned to me earlier, the coyote population saw a little bit of spike in 2015, and then as you just mentioned, you saw a huge spike in 2016. So for people who are animal activists, this has been a really controversial issue. As part of the solution the city decided to implement has to do with trapping. So if you can kind of go into that and the regions that have been chosen and how many trappings of coyotes have been so far, done?
Well, the good news is the activists that are against trapping and the position of trapping that's selective, the good news is we agree on 95% of the approach. The thing that is disagreed upon is trapping. And give you a little bit of data or background or what intelligence drove our decision making in this is you have the two definitions or the two terms of unattended pets and free roaming pets.
Right.
Unattended pets to us is a pet that's left unattended within an enclosed yard or space at a home. A free roaming pet is a pet that gets loose, that's roaming the streets and sidewalks. So coyotes that take free roaming pets, we all agree that it's a natural coyote behavior, but still causes some alarm and concern. The taking of an unattended pet in a home's backyard or enclosed space is of concern for us.
Right.
So for a coyote to venture into an enclosed yard and track down or hunt a pet in a backyard, what our concern is if that coyote was to come into a home and what possible scenarios can play out there. So those are the two differences, and when we started seeing spikes in the taking of animals by coyotes from unattended pets in enclosed yards, that caused significant concern for us, as does the taking of free roaming pets.
Right.
For an example, if you had a free roaming dog, a loose dog, a larger dog that killed animals on a street that were deemed free roaming, that would be a cause for concern across the public. Now, if that dog was to go into yards and taking unattended pets, the same concern would be brought up, and in most scenarios, that pet or that dog would be caught and possibly put down. So those are the differences. That's where we really drew the line, and we're getting some positive traction with that frame of mind, that ideology.
And you mentioned to me that 95% of what the city wants, what the animal activists want, it's really on the same page. I mean, we do want to coexist with the coyotes, but when it affects public safety, that's when these measures have to be taken, correct?
That's correct, and I am sorry I didn't address one part of your question is how many, since we've gone to trapping, how many coyotes have we removed? And thus far, we've removed 5 coyotes from 2 significant impact areas within the city. So a coyote's territory can span from 1 to 5 miles. So the 2 areas in the city that we identified as hot spots, which are areas where numerous pets are being taken, we're having sightings by our residents, were the areas surrounding, if you can imagine or visualize, a 2 to 5 mile area surrounding the Madrona Marsh, going into Nadine Circle, New Horizons, and down to Hickory Park. And the other area is the Walteria Catch Basin. So from those 2 areas, we've removed 5 coyotes thus far.
And some good news, the education aspect of the approach, the goal will be met this week. Nearly 40,000 door hangers, right? I mean, that's a huge task.
Yes, well, the biggest theme, the biggest objective, the focal point for us is education and awareness to the community. And a lot of residents didn't know that there was a coyote problem. That we've had some, heartbreaking instances where we've had pets taken and the pet owners just didn't have an idea that they weren't, that wasn't recommended to leave their pets outside. So we've done a huge grassroots or ground effort, and we've by the end of the week, we'll have reached 42,000 homes in the city of Torrance with door hangers.
And these are educational door hangers that teaches residents about hazing, not to leave cat food, animal food outside, and that people do need to play a role in order to combat this situation.
Absolutely. It talks about the educational component in hardening your target, hardening not just your home, the surrounding area, the neighborhood, and also hazing techniques, because what's happened is coyotes have become habituated. They get used to finding food sources within these neighborhoods, and they become habituated at that time, and that's why we're seeing the numerous instances of pets being taken. This year so far, we've had over 250 sightings/incidents of coyotes within Torrance, with numerous cats, dogs, fox, and other animals killed by coyotes. So the hazing component, which you're going to get through education and the awareness and not making it a welcome environment, is really our hope in pushing back these coyotes into a more natural habitat.
And we've had the council meeting about the coyote approach and what the steps the city are taking, but what's the future going to be like now? Educational and future steps that the city may be taking? Well,
in talking to our industry experts, and we've had dialogue with California Department of Fish and Wildlife, the Humane Society, Wildlife Services, Tracy Drake from the Madrona Marsh, which is a huge source of information for us. And so in discussing that with them, this is going to be a year-round effort. We forecast that this problem won't go away in the near future. Right. So this is going to be a year-long, calendar-long event initiative that the department is taking, where it's going to be on our minds the entire year, especially with mating seasons and kind of examining what's taken place this year so we can anticipate changes next year. So what you'll see is we're partnering up with the Department of Fish and Wildlife, where they're coming in and they're going to conduct some training for our sworn and non-sworn staff. Okay. And it's going to be Train the Trainer and Wildlife Watch, which is very similar to Neighborhood Watch, same leadership philosophies. And we're going to teach our officers how to go out and train the trainers, which was then going out on National Night Out, which is August 2nd of this year, and going to the over 35 block parties that we're going to have in the city, and really reaching out via this grassroots effort to educate the entire city and become a force multiplier. That along is we're in the middle of producing our own video segment that really is going to focus on this, and we're going to push it through our social media platform. So, and other aspects that we're taking part in is we've actually deployed our bike detail into these hotspots within the city for visible presence, for observant reporting of coyotes, and to also engage in hazing, where they're armed with paintball guns, where we're not intending to hurt the coyote, but engage in some immediate hazing to catch a breath, to catch a break, and pushing this back.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you'll come back and give us an update on this very important topic in the near future as things develop. And that was Torrance Police Captain Martin Vukotic. Well, that does it for tonight's NewsBreak Live. Thanks to all of you at home for joining us. We always welcome your feedback, so if you have news or even video that you'd like to share, please email us at newsbreak@torranceca.gov. And for Facebook and Twitter users, use #NewsBreakLive. Have a great night.